Dear my brothers and sisters, God bless you all and have a good day and Ramadan Kareem. This is not a United States Iran but an Arab Persian war. Those two Arab crown princes are going to set the whole region on fire. Why is that meeting being held in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia? Will Mecca fall hostage after Jerusalem? This is important question. At the time I spoke and I wrote the articles, the Mecca wars, and before tanks reached the Kaaba, most people deemed that I was going too far in my comments and concerns. A new storm that would breach and spread beyond the local battlegrounds such as Iraq, Syria and Yemen. I could deduce this, but it was arduous to illustrate a disaster of this extent. It is always difficult to understand or explain what is happening at times of silence. The war had now taken on a regional dimension rather than just being stage-based, and for those following the situation closely, strong signs of this were revealed. They presented it to us as a sectarian war. It was always been the same project since the 1991 Gulf War. Every crisis, every invasion, every conflict we witnessed was a stage of that great plan. Our mistake was to perceive all these as independent incidents. This is why we are very heavily paying the prices of the plans that targeted our region. These wars were promoted to us sometimes as the Taliban and Al-Qaeda terrorist organizations, sometimes as authoritarian leaders such as Muammar Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, sometimes as chemical weapons, and sometimes under other hidings. The most critical of them all is that they were sometimes presented as sectarian wars, as Shiite-Sunni conflicts. They spoke, we believe them. We are only shooting ourselves in the foot. To be frank, they were largely successful in all of this. Discourses such as Islam is going to fight among itself and the Islamic civil war were produced and implemented for this purpose. Not only sects, but numerous categories such as modern, traditional, Sufi, pro-West or anti-West were formed, and political and economical projects were applied accordingly. We experienced hundreds of these examples during the last 3 decades. As a matter of fact, the picture was clear too, but our minds were so mud-dyed, our eyes were so blinded that we were in a position to perceive all these wars through the explanation and discourses offered to us. The West's plan was to force the Muslim world out of history, to prevent the rise of a new power from this region, to conduct a second 20th century takeover and distribution in the region, and place this at the heart of the global plans aimed at the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, dear my brothers and sisters, getting Islam to fight Islam, striking history, the region and religion. The West was actually about to wage a total war on the region again with the mentality of the Crusades. This was a second World War, first intervention aimed at our region. We should not allow the details to blind us. Let us carefully consider the power shifts and the political and economic bloc power rises in the 21st century. In this major change, the West is both fighting Islam and using Muslims as a weapon against other rising powers of the world. Let us take it a notch further. The West was getting Islam to fight Islam. It was using Muslims in their own region and, as a matter of fact, against their own religion. Now, a storm that is being broken out through terrorist organizations, which is set to destroy the entire region, is being brewed. Arab-Persian War. Those two crown princes are going to set the region on fire. What is being presented as Iran-United States tension is actually the preparation to break out an Arab-Persian war. In leaving aside the revolution and spreading toward Arab lands through complete Persian expansionism was associated with Arab nationalism through Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and the United Arab Emirates Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed. We are seeing the Persian and Arab fight for power hidden behind the West's hegemony plan. They think it is in their own interest, but this storm is going to result in the destruction of the region and the victory of the United States and Israel. Everything Islamic and religious is going to be used in such a war. A war is going to be promoted through religion and sectarianism. This is how the message. We have to take care. Yes. Everything Islamic and religious is going to be used in such a war. This is how the message are going to be directed. Why is that meeting being held in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia, holy city? They started to promote war through religion. Allow me to make a few up-to-date reminders. Number one, Arab administrations that are members of the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC, allowed United States military forces to deploy on their lands against Iran. Both their airspace and territorial space are going to belong to the United States and Israel. This was already the case, but it is going to further increase. Secondly, Saudi Arabia is going to gather Gulf Cooperation Council member and Arab League member countries in Mecca. It is going to tell them about the Iran threat and try to form a strong Arab bloc against the war. Also, number three, So why is the meeting not being held in Jeddah or Riyadh or Dubai or another capital but in Mecca? Why? Is the meeting being held here? Because the war has already started to be promoted. Arab and Iranians are going to totally use religious values in this war. They are going to say, we are ready. Number 4, we are going to witness such ugly sight that the Muslim world may go into a period of very serious mental division, because their aim is to render the Muslims red with shame. This is the plan. This is the actual destruction. Number 5, in the Mecca meeting, they are likely going to make the "we are ready" call to the United States and Israel. 6, the United States-led Atlantic Alliance used Iran's out of control desires and its expansionism policy very well in their war against Islam. They exaggerated this threat to the Arabs and managed to persuade them. The countries led by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates invested their whole future and resources in the war against Iran. See my question, or the question that we can ask. So why are they attacking Turkey like this? Number 7, a tranquilizer intervention may have been in question before it reached this point. Turkey could have assumed the role here, but the United Arab Emirates' horrific and mighty and open belligerence towards Turkey closed this path. As the United Arab Emirates, Egypt and Saudi Arabia spread anti-Iran sentiment to the utmost, they are also spreading the Turkey threat and mighty towards Turkey throughout the entire region. They are striking Turkey wherever it has a presence in Iraq, Syria, Libya, Sudan, Somalia. As they prepare for a war with Iran, they have actually already started an open war with Turkey. The other question, will Mecca follow Jerusalem? Will Mecca follow Jerusalem? The United States will not openly attack Iran. Neither will Israel. Iran will wage wars very far from its borders. This time, it will fight in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon. The United States, Israel, and Arab war against Iran will take place in these countries. In such a case, the West will watch in delight and perhaps take the utmost advantage from this chaos, which will probably last for decades. Everybody might be able to see that there is going to be no region remaining. That is when the Mecca and Medina issue will become the joint political problem of all Muslims. Mecca falling hostage after Jerusalem will be the result of United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia's political blindness. This is why I am making calls to stop this storm before the tanks reach the Kaaba. The build-up in the Persian Gulf is not to strike Iran, but to devastate the Arab world, to strike Islam at its heart. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Ramadan Kareem, and God bless all human beings worldwide, all nations, with peace. Thank you very much.